Breaking down Samurai Song by Robert Pinsky is actually pretty simple. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I believe this was the nature of it. His overall goal seems to be the philosophy that he took in achieving, overachieving in self-accomplishment and in being able to continually push himself to strive for greatness because he has done a lot in the way of poetry and exposing poetry to the world. Um, and with this, he does it where he tackles or points out different points that excuses in a way that can stop people. So when he says, like, when I had no roof, that's like having no home. So people may say I'm homeless or something. He said, I made audacity my roof. Like, it's audacious that this may not be the occurrence, but this is not who I am. It's just a state of being that I am in, and I'm making the most out of that. And that goes with father, with no mother. It's like him breaking himself down in every point and saying that when I had this, when I did not have this, no father, because people would say I didn't have a father, so the daddy issues, mommy issues. He's like, this is what I did. I embraced order. I became this sort of samurai, this being, this person who is very disciplined ultimately so that he can go and seek out and do what he needed to do as far as accomplishing poetry in every facet. And so that's why this repetition of when I had or when I have, because some of those things are still present. So it's like no means, when I have no means, when I have nothing, death is my fortune. So it's like even in the face of zero, being absolutely without anything at all, he still continues to push forward because he knows death for everyone is the only thing promised in life. And so why fret? Why continue to make excuses or to push yourself down when what you ought to do is continue to pursue and push yourself up? And so with it, it's like made, had, and it's all past tense, made, had, for the ending of the first two lines and majority of the stanzas is made, had, and that goes back to the point of the repetition. I made when I had nothing, when I didn't have this, I made. And he points out point blank clearly what he did to make that into the being. So he uses these three lines in each of his stanzas to really amplify and also simplify the point he's trying to get at. And that makes this poem so easy to be remembered and so universal because he's not speaking on anything American. He's actually an American speaking with the samurai song who are seen as public servants in a way and with lords, and they have the duties that they have to partake upon, and they're kind of like these ultra disciplined Bushido code sort of figures who go by the rule of thumb, like super soldiers in a way. And they follow that rule or those laws to death, where they would rather, kill themselves instead of allowing themselves to be killed for the glorious death. But he's not getting there with that. What he's getting with is pretty much staying disciplined and keeping thyself in a focused path so that you can continue to push on and pursue. And that's what makes this so beautiful. And as I mentioned, universal. So it's like when I had no friend, I made quiet my friend. And when I had no enemy, I opposed my body. It's like allowing yourself or not allowing yourself to be in a position of just blanket comfort. And if you are, where you have nobody to oppose, no enemies, no one's going against you, it's like you going against yourself. And so initially I thought of that as like a training, him training himself and disciplining himself, which could be the physical, which could also be the mental, of course, or emotional or spiritual, or just, attacking the weakest points in you to make that better. And when you don't have a friend, making quiet your friend is going back to the thoughts and allowing the thoughts thoughts not to overrun you, because of course that isn't great either, but allowing those thoughts to help you to grow, and being in that quiet moment and appreciating what you do have for that. All of those instances are had, which is very interesting, because now he says that as past. So now in the present, he's in the moment where he have those things now, which also brings that back full circle. So all the things he didn't have at the point came back to him in a way. Even like the mother and father, he may never have gotten back with his biological mom and dad, but it's possible to have mentors and people who you can lean on in that way, or just having yourself and being able to care for yourself and not needing that. And so those things are crucial in the point that, because when he was in a point of without, his mind and his mentality allowed him to be with. And then he does have this point where it changes, and it goes from, when I had no temple, I made my voice my temple, to I have no priest, my tongue is my choir, which is to me a touch on religion, because having no priest means that's either not the religion he was affiliated with at once or at all anymore longer. And so it's him allowing himself to say, I walk the path of possibly a spiritual path still, but he doesn't point anywhere towards that. He's just saying that he's not a religious person, and he doesn't follow in line with other people, which would be the priest. He walks his own path, and he sings his own song, and he goes by his own tune. And so that's the beauty of that one. And that's the forever state. So it's like I have, not like when I had no, or I no longer have. It's like I have no. And then for the other ones, when I have no means, fortune is my means. So he's at a point with, when I have no means, fortune is my means, and when I have nothing, death is my fortune, as these being things that do occur still within him. But he recalls and reflects upon the fact that even if he has nothing to strive towards, he's striving towards self-reliance and success with fortune. And when he can't even see that as something to strive towards anymore, it goes back to the idea of death being there for him, or he has nothing to look up to. Death is there for him to allow him the ease of any burdens he may have in that moment, to bring him back forth. Now, the interesting thing is need being his tactic, detachment, which is a part of him that allows that to occur. And when he had no lover, he courted sleep. It's a little depressing, for sure, courting sleep because you have no lover, but it's also not allowing yourself to be torn by seeking a lover. And that's another one of those when I had. So it's in line with him possibly having a lover now. But he's still in the point of saying, when he had no lover, he wasn't seeking out love from all different sorts of people, wasting his time, essentially staying disciplined and going to sleep. Hopefully, it wasn't like sleeping endlessly, because of course that can be bad too. But he doesn't necessarily point towards or away from that. I thought that him making care of his father was interesting, because fathers can be very caring and also not caring. And then embracing mothers, because I was thinking about warm embrace. So that was very intriguing for me as well. And I thought the poem was beautiful and easy to remember. And of course, for that reason, Samurai Song is super simplistic and wonderful in what it does.